Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Roger Paul, and tonight we're going to continue our study of paper 32, Evolution of the Local Universe, and we're in section 2, paragraph 10 in section 2, and that's on page 359 in the original Urantia book. Let's say a little prayer and we'll get started for tonight. Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight that we might share this wonderful revelation with each other. We might study it and learn more from it and prepare ourselves for the mansion worlds and prepare ourselves for citizenship in this beautiful universe you have set up for us. And we thank you for all the people that come and listen to us and enjoy it and grow from it. We say this in the name of your son, Michael Jesus of Nazareth. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. You missed my thing, Gary, right before we started. So
I'm sorry.
I had a little show there and you missed it. You can ask Jane and Rodney if it was well worth it.
Yeah. Don't ask me, okay?
Don't ask my wife.
I cannot duplicate it, so I'm no doubt.
Anyway, I was doing my robot imitation.
Your what?
My robot imitation.
Oh, yeah?
I've been invaded by a robot.
Oh.
Injected with bots. It's taking over my brain. So anyway, now Gary knows what I'm talking about. I watched too many videos today.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Hi, Ledge. How you doing today? Okay.
How you doing?
Good.
Weird.
Weird. Been a weird day.
Weird day.
Okay, last time we ended on 3,840,101 inhabited planets in Nebadon and Satania. And your local system of your world is fairly typical of other systems. What does that mean? That means most of the other systems are probably young like we are. So they're developing just like we are. So it's just not our system that's only about not less than halfway done, right? A lot of the systems are that way in Orvanton. So not in Orvanton, in Nebadon. So let's go from there. Satania, dear, would you like to take that? You?
Satania is not a uniform physical system, a single astronomic unit or organization. Its 619 inhabited worlds are located in over 500 different physical systems. Only 5 have more than 2 inhabited worlds. And of these, only 1 has 4 people planets, while there are 46 having 2 inhabited worlds.
What does this mean? That means that the physical makeup of Satania encompasses over 500 different physical systems. What are they talking about physical systems? They're talking about like our system of Monatia, okay? In other words, all the planets that surround our sun, right? So what they're saying here is there's over 500 of these, like ours is, that make up part of Satania. And in those systems, they have only 5 of them have more than 2 inhabited worlds. Okay, most of them are just 1 inhabited world. And then it says, and of these, only 1 has 4 people planets. So one system out there actually has 4 planets with people on it around one sun. You still with me? And there are 46 that have 2 inhabited worlds on it. Okay. Now, I'm going to give y'all something to think about. So we've been talking about space all day, my wife and I. It doesn't say whether we have only 1 planet that's inhabited, does it?
We're not. We don't know 1 of the 4, or one of 5, or 1 of whatever. 4.
We could be several 1. they said that at one place, it says we have at least 2 other planets that's capable of supporting life. Okay. So we don't know where those are. We haven't discovered that yet. We're busy going to Mars instead of exploring all the other satellites around the planets. Okay.
I know.
So that's neither here nor there. Thank you, Elon.
Yay,
Mr.
Elon.
Musk.
We love him.
Love what you're doing for Tesla and the solar stuff, but I don't think we need to go to Mars, to be honest. Anyway, let's go on. Number 2, the Satania system. Jane, would you take that one?
Okay. The Satania system of inhabited worlds is far removed from Uversa and that great sun cluster which functions as the physical or astronomic center of the 7th superuniverse. From Jerusalem, the headquarters of Satania, it is over 200,000 light years to the physical center of the superuniverse of Orvanton, far, far away in the dense diameter of the Milky Way. Satania is on the periphery of the local universe, and Nebadon is now well out towards the edge of Orvanton. From the outermost system of inhabited worlds to the center of the superuniverse is a trifle less than 250,000 light years.
Okay, so this is a lot of different light year stuff, right? Let me see if I can get back off this again. Okay, and I'm gonna show y'all 2 pictures that hopefully will make this come a little clearer. Let me see if I can make this smaller here. No, it's not gonna let me. Okay, so if you look at this picture from Uversa to the center of the Milky Way galaxy, which, all right, I'm gonna clear up something that I keep hearing people having meetings on and conferences on and all sorts of stuff, okay? And that is this: is the Milky Way equal to Orvanton, our 7th super universe?
Or Nebadon.
Or not Nebadon, right? It states in the book that the Milky Way is the 7th super universe. Okay, so if you think of the Milky Way, if we got 7 super universes, like in this picture, each one of those is about as big, if not bigger, than the Milky Way. Okay, and when you talk about the outer space levels, congregations of the super universes and the outer space levels, they call them super universes because they're even bigger. You follow me? Everybody looks confused.
So you're saying the Milky Way is Orvanton?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, and you can
Thought it was
gather that. No, it's not Nebadon.
It's more than
Nebadon,
that.
the Nebadon is inside the Milky Way galaxy. It's at the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, it's not as
Okay.
big as the Milky Way. It's much smaller. Okay, now this is why I wanted to show you this picture up here. From Jerusalem to Uversa, which is the center of the Milky Way, the astronomical center of the Milky Way. This is the center of Orvanton. Okay, you still with me?
Yeah.
From Jerusalem to Uversa is a little bit less than 250,000 light years away. You with me? There's a lot of numbers here. Okay. From, let me go down to this picture. It's going to make a lot more sense. One thing I want to show you first is this. The 7 super universes, including Paradise, is oblong. Okay, so the lateral part of it is about 20 million light years across. That's a lot of space. Okay. The height of it is about 14 million light years across. So it's longer than it is height-wise, right?
Or wider.
Wider, right? Wider than taller. Okay. If you look at this picture, we've got several things here. First of all, from Jerusalem to Uversa, you see my little mouse here?
Yeah,
From Jerusalem to Uversa is about 250,000 light years. Okay, 250,000, not million. Okay. To Jerusalem from Satania to Uversa is a whole nother number. But what I want to show you here is this. From the center of Uversa to about the center of paradise is 8 million light years. You with me?
Yeah.
That's what that says there. If you add the 250,000 light years to Jerusalem, because we're out on the edge, that means when we get to our system capital, Jerusalem, right, Satania, and we add the 8 million light years, we're 8 million, around 250,000 light years away from paradise. That's the point I want to make. You with me? So if you wanted to say right now, if we're going to leave for paradise, it'll be a trip of about 8,250,000 light years. Okay, because of where we're positioned.
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time, right? For that light to get to our planet, it would be eons and eons and eons and eons, right? The other one I want to show you is, since the height is less than the width of the 7 super universes, to the center of this first super universe is only 7 million light years.
Yeah.
Okay. But from the third super universe, which is out even farther than we are, it's 9 million light years to the center of the third super universe. You see that? So that kind of tells you where we are in space. Okay.
it's beyond the capabilities of imagination. But
It
I've
is.
got an observation. If you time your travel correctly, you could shave a lot of travel time off. If you drop off and go to paradise at the location of the super universe, you can say, because everything's in rotation, you can save a lot of time.
Yeah, you could.
But they're not rotating at our time. There is a
It's
fixed,
rotating at paradise time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
paradise is stationary. Remember that? Paradise is stationary. So all these super universes are going counterclockwise around paradise, right?
Mhm.
Paradise is stationary. I was thinking you were saying the whole universe.
No,
Oh, I
paradise
think-
is stationary. The whole universe goes around paradise, moves around paradise.
I figured something out while you're describing this. Remember previously, yesterday, last Tuesday, we
Yeah.
that they set up the architectural worlds,
Uh-huh.
which are basically structured, is designed,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, the
And-
billion. Yeah.
Everything they say about when we've landed on the moon, it was hollow, it echoes.
Yeah.
It was like a drum and everything. Could the moon be an architectural world?
No, because it states in the book that the moon actually was a piece of the earth that broke off during a meteor collision with the earth. So our moon started out as part of the earth. And because of a meteoric collision with the earth millions and millions of years ago, billions of years ago, a piece of that went out and became a satellite, and that became our moon, and the moon started collecting space junk from out there, and that's how it got its shape. And the earth kept collecting space junk too. So, but it is the same material, basically, calcium, that just like the Earth is made out of. So it's not
Okay.
hollow. All right. Unless the meteor was hollow, the piece that broke off was hollow. That's possible, I guess. All right, let's go back here. And that's the one we just covered, that paragraph. So we're going to get this little sentence in between the two pictures.
Roger,
Right. Yeah.
but why do they show Urantia away from the center of the Milky Way?
The guy that made this picture was trying to just show you that Urantia, the little thing there to the center is what they were talking about there, the 200 million light years or 200,000 light years. That is actually the space. It's confusing because he pointed this out, that Urantia is the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And it looks like it's outside the Milky Way galaxy. In reality, it's not, it's dead center. Okay, so it's a little bit confusing. That's what I wanted to clear up on that. Okay, but it's actually, what we should be looking for, can you see my mouse here?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Okay.
where the first arrow
Urantia-
is.
Yeah, Urantia is right here in the center. Okay, not out here. Okay, so these arrows, he was trying to show that this is in actuality right here in the dead center of this, and from here to Jerusalem is 250,000 light years. Well, 225,000 actually, but that's what he was trying to show when he made this picture. But it's came out confusing, But I stuck it in there just so I'd have a basis to explain it. All right. Would you take the next paragraph, the universe there, Rodney?
Yes. I'm still not convinced, though.
Of
What,
what?
that the Milky Way is the seventh super universe, Rodney? Or the
Correct.
Jerusalem?
See, this is the big debate, Rodney. They
I-
actually had a class on it. But you're going to find out here. But stay with me another couple paragraphs here. Okay. All right.
Okay. The universe of Nebadon now swings far to the south and east in the super universe circuit of Orvanton. The nearest neighboring universes are Avalon, Encelon, Sansalon, Portalon, Wolverine, Banavine, and Alvorine.
Ah, you did good, man. Okay, yeah, and this is what this picture is really about. What he's trying to show is that Jerusalem is way out southeast of the super universe, the seventh super universe. Okay, and this where Jerusalem is, the closest local universes like Nebadon is. See, Nebadon would be this section right here, right? A part of the super universe. And what he's explaining is our closest neighbors, other local universes are Avalon, Hensalon, Sansalon, Portalon, Wolverine, Fanning, and Alvarine. Okay, so these are other local universes that Jesus did not create. You follow me? They have their own. So, okay, so that's our closest neighbors, which is important. Why? Because Avalon is referenced over and over and over again, having to do with multiple things. If you look under Avalon, if you click that link, it says the brilliant evening star from Avalon came to Urantia after the rebellion. Okay, a local universe. All right, it says a neighboring universe to Nebadon. You see that? That's the paragraph we are here. Mm-hmm. Seraphim from Avalon trained the Nebadon seraphim. That's the closest universe. Okay. Also, the surgeons of Avalon transferred plasm to the prince's staff, which gave them what? human bodies. You with me? So the Calligastia 100 were created, their bodies were created by the surgeons of Avalon. They were prepared for them so that they could be inserted into these bodies when they were brought here on the seraphic transports. So that's how the Calligastia 100 got here. And one other thing that's not in this, it was the surgeons of Avalon that were there to help with Adam and Eve too. Okay. Just let y'all know this. So this little Tiblet, and that's this Avalon, this closest nearest neighbor.
So Roger,
Yeah.
if they're saying that our galaxy, the Milky Way, is the seventh super universe,
Right.
do you know how many galaxies we can see from Earth
Yeah.
that are as big as the Milky Way?
Yeah.
More.
Billions.
And there's
Billions.
not of super universes. There's only 6 more.
No, that's not true, Rodney. We can see, we can see because of our location in space,
Outer,
the outer space levels. Okay.
okay,
You with me?
I'm with
The
you.
outer space outer space levels have 28,010 super universes.
Yeah, I understand. Okay,
You with me?
I'm with you.
And because of our position in space, we can see these super universes and we can see the development of much of it. Now, when we go into Jerusalem and we start our paradise ascent, you think we'll be able to see these anymore? No, because we'll be going inward, not outward. You with me?
Mhm.
That's why they have what? Star students. Star students love to come out to the architectural spheres that's out on the edge so that they can observe what we can see from this planet. Make sense? Because there's not as much junk in the way, right? Y'all all look like you're confused.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Letch.
What do the billions of galaxies that have been discovered by astronomers out there, how do they
Yes.
play in this picture?
These billions of galaxies are all parts of different super universes and local universes, super universes superimposed on one another. Letch, because the galaxies themselves, remember, the galaxies are the smallest unit of the picture itself. So
Yeah.
when you look out, we know if there's a billion, was it a trillion, was it 7 trillion worlds just in the 7 super universes, that when we look out and can see 7 trillion local systems. When I say local systems, I'm talking about like Mammatia, our planet, the planets that surround our sun. Those are local systems. All those are planets. So you take that and you superimpose it on billions and billions and billions of these local galaxies or systems, if you want to call them. That's what we see. You follow me?
Yeah.
For instance, the Milky Way, we are so far out, we see a picture of the Milky Way. We see millions of planets superimposed on the Milky Way, but we only see a very, very small part of the Milky Way because of our position. We're looking in towards the Milky Way and we're just seeing the very edge of it, right? If we could see farther into the Milky Way, what would we see? We would see Uversa, because it's the largest thing in the Milky Way, right? We would see Uversa. We would actually be able to point out the 10 major sectors in Irvanton, but we can't see it because of our position in space. If we could get on top of it, we could see it, but we can't do that, can we? You know, we're talking about millions of light years to get on top of it.
So let's say the Andromeda galaxy, which is the one closest to us and
Right.
3 billion years is due to collide with us, the Milky Way. Is
Right.
it a system or a local universe? That's what I
It would
find.
be, it's probably multiple local universes, okay? In other words, out of that Andromeda nebulae will come multiple local universe, multiple creator suns will come in and pick out different parts of that to make part of their local universes. You follow
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
So as this happens, as the Milky Way and the Andromeda system comes together, then many of those are going to become local universes of the Milky Way. Makes sense?
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Sure. Now this has been a issue with the book since it started, because you got guys that are astronomers looking out through older type telescopes starting out with, and now with the Hubble and the telescopes we have in space, everything's expanding because we can see more, right? So probably another 1,000 years, they're going to have to update the book to make explanations for us so we can understand all this, right? Makes sense? Because they could only reveal to us according to our knowledge of that time, or this time, really. You know, let me give you a good example of that. Who could have foreseen that 100 years after the book was revealed to us, because it was in 1934, 1935, 2034 is just around the corner, right? So that will be 100 years. Who could have foresaw 100 years ago that by now we started identifying all these UFOs and all this stuff? Nobody could have, because nobody knew anything about it, right? It was 1947 before the first crash of a UFO in the United States, and the government started hiding everything, right? So we've got 100 years of history that's really been hidden from us, from our own government, because they've not been forthcoming with all the information that's out there. Now think about this. Don't you think if the revealers of the book really thought that we would get a grasp of our place in the universe in that short a period of time, don't you think that would have been mentioned or something in the book? You would think so, wouldn't you? But it's not. They tell us about other people's planets and the different types of planets and the different types of beings on planets, but they don't say anything about these beings visiting this planet at all, right?
Well, it's interesting too that basically the book was in effect completed just after Edwin Hubble discovered that the universe was expanding.
Just
And
after
that
that.
was a very new concept then.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and imagine this, Letch, and then these guys come up from the Urantia book coming along and saying, you know, Hubble saying the universe is expanding, and that they came up with the Big Bang Theory about them, right? Yeah. And so that's how the whole concept of the Big Bang Theory got started. No one bothered from the Urantia Society to bring up the point that this is standard universe respiration, you know? Nobody did, because, you know, you have this big schism between philosophy, religion, and science, you know? And really, you can't separate them. They're all part of the same thing, right?
Do you realize that philosophy, religion, and science are basically the I don't know proper term, the evolution of knowledge, I guess?
Yeah.
Because philosophy is the theory. Religion is putting the theory into action in thought, in
Yeah.
life. And science is the explanation of that. So basically, if you stop and think about it, science is basically the study of how God did things.
Well, that's what we've been studying, right? In this paper is the science of it, right?
Mhm.
How everything gets started. And that's my point is you can't separate the three. They have to work as a unit. That's just all there is to it. If you say, I just believe in the Urantia book, I believe in your religion, I don't believe in science, you're an idiot. That's all there is to it. Because there has to be causes for everything, right? And that's what they were trying to teach us, right? The causes, where everything comes from, right? And that's part of knowing God. All right. It's all about evolution, which let's take this next paragraph then. Letch, would you take that next paragraph for us, please? I
Sure.
don't know if I skipped anybody or not.
But the evolution of a local universe is a long narrative. Papers dealing with the super universe introduce this subject, those of this section, treating of the local creations, continue it, while those to follow, touching upon the history and destiny of Urantia, complete the story. But you can adequately comprehend the destiny of the mortals of such a local creation only by a perusal of the narratives of the life and teachings of your Creator Son, as he once lived the life of man in the likeness of mortal flesh on your own evolutionary world.
So everything is about evolution, isn't it? Everything is, the planet evolves, religion evolves, our science evolves, everything in the universe evolves over time. All right. And that's what they're going to talk about here in this next section, the evolutionary idea. What I wanted to point out before we leave this section, though, Rodney, was the fact that they in this paragraph 211, can you see that on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, it says right here. From Jerusalem, the headquarters of Satanius. Okay, that's our capital of our local system.
Okay.
It's over 250,000 light years to the physical center of the super universe of Orvonton, far, far away in the dense diameter of the Milky Way. You see that? Would you not assume then that the Milky Way, if that's the dense diameter of the Milky Way, that the Milky Way is Orvonton?
Yeah, it's a play on words.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out before we leave this section. Okay.
What does
That's
the little type above that? We didn't read that.
this
E359.
Yeah.
that's the same. That's the same as this paragraph we just read just a minute ago.
Okay, I see.
Okay, he
Yeah.
just stuck it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, the evolutionary idea. Diane, would you take that, please?
The only creation that is perfectly settled is Havona, the central universe, which was made directly by the thought of the universal Father and the word of the eternal Son. Havona is an existential, perfect, and replete universe surrounding the home of the eternal deities, the center of all things. The creations of the 7 super universes are finite, evolutionary, and consistently progressive.
Okay, so what are they telling us here? Havona itself, which is the system surrounding paradise, right? Havona itself is existential. What does that mean? Always has been, always will be, right?
Mhm.
That's what they're telling us. So in essence, what they're trying to tell us that Havona and paradise actually had no beginning in reality. And it actually has no end. But they tell us they were created by God the Father and God the Son so that we can put in our little pea brains a beginning point for it. Okay? That's why it's explained that way as a reference point. Okay? But it's as perfect and replete as a universe. It does not evolve. You with me?
Yes.
The 7 super universes, however, are made of finite beings, finite material, finite universes. They evolve constantly and they're consistently progressive. They change daily all the time. So they're an evolving universe. They're not like what? Havona,
Havona.
right? Because Havona does not evolve. Yeah, Jane.
If you're saying that the 7 super universes are finite, would that also infer then that they don't necessarily have to exist forever?
No, they don't. They don't. You hit it on the head, Jane. That's one of the reasons that the planets, even though they evolve over time of billions and billions of years, and some of them burn out and disappear, and they bring them back to life again. Okay? It's an evolution. It's a circle. It keeps going round and round and round. So you might take this planet Earth, for instance. In another 200 trillion years, this planet may run its course and disappear, and they will start another one back up right in its place. You
So
follow me?
can I go further and say then that really the super universe, such as Orvonton, is solely created for us so we can ascend from it?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You hit it on the head, right on the head. Now, let me add to that, Jane. The outer space levels are a combination of 2 different things, though. The outer space levels are both finite and absonite,
Mhm.
which is the next level up from finite.
Yeah,
You follow me?
yeah.
So
So they're what, Gary?
they're going to be better than us.
They're not going to be better. They're going to be different than us, but
Well,
they will evolve just like we do. Right?
Yeah, but they could start from a higher point of evolution than we did.
Or they could start from a lower point of evolution so they can experience the finite completeness. You follow
Okay.
me?
Yeah,
Could be either way. It really
Yeah.
could be. You think about it. They could
Mhm.
start out totally finite and work into absonite. They could start out totally absonite and work into finite. We don't know.
We don't know. But what you are saying there, Roger, is that there is a difference in the intention of God
Yes,
from where he created the first 7 super universes and the outer space
that's right.
future.
There's a different concept that he's bringing into being.
Yeah.
And the interesting part is this, he's making plans apparently so that those type beings can experience the finite also, whether they do it on their planets or if they come through the 7 super universes, because all the personnel for the outer space levels are starting where? In the 7 super universes.
Mhm.
The creator sons, the creator daughters, the core of finality, all the other 6 cores of finality, right? The plan is everybody believes that they're going out to the outer space levels. So it'll be a new experience, but that one thing is for certain. What are they going to be? They're going to be evolutionary.
Yeah.
Right? Just like we are. That's for sure. That's the only thing we know for sure. All right. So let's go to the next one. Jane, will you take the next paragraph?
Where are we? But Are we starting the new one now?
No, that's the physical systems of time and space.
Oh, okay. The physical system of time and space are all evolutionary in origin. They are not even physically stabilized until they are swung into the settled circuit of their super universes. Neither is a local universe settled in light and life until its physical possibilities of expansion and development have been exhausted, and until the spiritual status of all its inhabited worlds have been forever settled and stabilized.
Okay, we talked about this before, right?
Mm.
For a local universe to settle enlighten life, it has to have two things. What's that? Physical stability
Stability,
and
yeah.
spiritual stability, right?
Yeah.
So until both of those things happen, it won't be admitted into the settled circuits of the super universe. Until it's admitted into the settled circuits of the super universe, it's still just evolving. That's all there is to it, right?
Wasn't there a relationship between the spiritual settlement of light and life and the
Physical?
physical of the world as we grow into our enlightenment, the physical
Yes.
world will stop having volcanoes and et cetera, the
Yeah,
catastrophes.
because Gary, we will learn as a people how to control our own environment. Okay. And to do that, we're going to have to get certain things under control. Our atmosphere, we have to learn how to control our atmosphere, right? Clean it up. We have to control our own evolution so that we're not burning out the planet faster than we can live, right? So there's certain things we have to do as a society to take care of the planet itself. We can't overpollute, we can't overpopulate it, we can't, just lots of different things. And part of that is what? The spiritual evolution of the planet also, right? Because when we work together, God has told us we can do anything, right? So we can control our atmosphere, we can we can make sure we have clean water, we can make sure we have clean air, we can make sure that the planet is not being destroyed, multiple times faster than it should be, if we learn how to behave as a people, as a whole, right? And that's part of getting to light and life, right? Good. Okay, well, let's move on to the next one. Rodney, would you take the next one? Except in the central universe?
Except in the central universe, perfection is a progressive attainment. In the central creation, we have a pattern of perfection, but all other realms must attain that perfection by the methods established for the advancement of those particular worlds or universes. And an almost infinite variety characterizes the plans of the Creator's sons for organizing, evolving, disciplining, and settling their respective local universes.
So all these local universes are all evolving on their own aspects, aren't they? Because each creator son is creating them differently, right? According to their own plans. So it's interesting here. It says the plans of the creator sons for organizing, they're different organizations, different evolving plans, different. This is the one that gets me, disciplining. You see that?
Mhm.
We're like children. We got to get straightened out every now and then, right? That's why Jesus came down to the earth to try to show us the way, right? And then each of them is different in settling their respective local universes as each individual creator son, right? All right. Gary, would you take the next one?
Okay. With the exception of the deity presence, of the Father, every local universe is, in a certain sense, a duplication of the administrative organization of the central or pattern creation. Although the universe father is personally present in the residential universe, he does not indwell the minds of the beings originating in that universe as he does literally dwell with the souls of the mortals of time and space. There seems to be an all-wise compensation in the adjustment and regulation of the spiritual affairs of the far-flung creation. In the central universe, the Father is personally present as such, but absent in the minds of the children of that perfect creation. In the universe of space, the Father is absent in person, being represented by his sovereign sons, but he is intimately present in the minds of his mortal children, being spiritually represented by the pre-personal presence of the master monitors,
Mystery
monitors that reside in the minds of these willed creatures.
Okay, I want to make a comment about why this is called mystery monitors instead of thought adjusters. All right. They use multiple terms for the same thing throughout the book for the thought adjusters. And why did they do this? Because different universes and different local creations call the father fragment or the thought adjuster different depending on what local universe you're in. Okay, so they try to interchange these terms so that everyone that will peruse these papers will understand what they're talking about. So sometimes it's called a thought adjuster, sometimes it's called a father fragment, sometimes it's called a mystery monitor. Okay, so that's why those different terms are used. All right, but interesting.
I always wondered about that.
Yeah, that, you know, so that everybody can understand, hopefully. All right, the interesting part of this paragraph is it explains something very important to us. Number one is that the Father himself indwells all the beings personally indwells all the beings in paradise and Havona. None of them have thought adjusters. Okay, so nobody in paradise and nobody in Havona has thought adjusters or mystery monitors or father fragments. Why is that? They're created perfect. They don't need it, right? They're part of God the Father. Now, God the Father is not personally present in each person in the rest of the 7 super universes like he is in Havana. Why is that? Because he has assigned this privilege to the creator sons. Okay? So the creator sons indwell each of us in the spirit of truth. Okay? So that's how the Father is within us through the spirit of truth, through the sons, just like he is in Havona. However, since he can't be personally present like he is in Havona with each being, he gives us a gift. Okay? And what's the gift? The thought adjuster. The father fragment, right? The mystery monitor. He also gives us what? Personality. So really, if you think about it, God the Father has given us 3 gifts, right? He's given us the sons, Jesus, the Michaels, right? Through the spirit of truth, through the infinite Son. He's there in that presence, but he's also present himself in the thought adjuster itself and his creation of the personality itself for each of us. Now, why is this so important? Because when we fuse, these things all come together and we become a real son of God. When we become a real son of God, we're just like, in many ways, the creator sons.
Oh, okay.
That's blasphemy, isn't it? No, it's not. we become real sons of God. That's why Jesus said, "You're all my brothers and sisters," right? We become real sons of God, just like Jesus and all the other creator sons are real sons of God's. We won't ever have creator functions, will we? We won't have the ability to create beings like Jesus does, but we will have the ability to call ourselves part of the family, direct family of God. That's why they give us new names when we fuse. Make sense?
Okay,
Huh?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Roger?
Yeah.
ready? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Gary.
You mentioned that we have the mystery monitors, which is another way of saying thought adjusters, etc. And
Right.
there's many different terms
Yeah.
for things many times. What, you know.
Yeah.
So is this telling us that this book is going to be in other universes and planets that would say be attuned with the mystery monitors?
Yes, that's exactly what this is. They prepared this so it was multifunction on many different types of planet, Gary, but on that planet, it may not be called what? The Urantia Book. It would be called whatever the name of that planet would be. Okay,
Yeah.
so
And it may
if
be
it
in
was,
a different language too.
it may be, but let's say it was a planet Mamuncha. Okay, if it was Mamuncha, then it would be called what? The Mamuncha Book.
Mm.
Yeah, and all the way through the book, they could change one term and everything still stays the same, right?
That's pretty sneaky, you know that?
Yeah, pretty darn
Along
smart
the-
too, isn't it?
Along the same lines, reading through the fourth part, Jesus never refers to the adjuster or the monitor. He always says it's the Father's Spirit,
Father Spirit,
the
that's
Spirit
right,
of the
Father
Father
fragment.
within
Yeah.
you. He
Right,
never calls it a fragment.
no,
What I was under the impression that this Spirit of the Father that's within us, the reason they call it thought adjuster or mystery monitor is that's the only words that our human minds can
comprehend,
comprehend to call it
Yeah.
that.
right.
I mean, it's not that it's really called that, it's just, it's a way to put a label on it.
Well, yeah, it is a way to put a label, but the other thing it does, Rodney, is this. By not calling it the Spirit of the Father, like Jesus does, Jesus had the right to call it the Spirit of the Father because that's what it was to him, right? The reason that they determine it's something else in the Urantia book is this. Then we get confused to think that God's Spirit is within each of us like it is in Havana and Paradise, and it's not. Okay, so by calling it a Father fragment or a thought adjuster or a mystery monitor, it tells us that this is a fragmentized part of God himself that's been given as a gift to us so that we can grab a hold of, fuse with, develop with, and actually become part of God's family.
And
follow
you
me?
also told us, Roger, that that is pre-personal.
Pre-personal, that's right.
Yeah,
Because the
which
personality
means
is
our
separate.
experience is what's going to give it that personality.
You got it.
Yeah.
Even though God gives us personality, it's our personality that's being developed that will be plugged in to this thought adjuster and this soul when we fuse. All this stuff will be come together and all plugged in together to be one being and never separated again, right? So when we fuse, there is no separation from God. We become, in essence, part of God's family, part of God, right? I think that's pretty important. And it separates us from Jesus's concept of God's spirit being within us, because we have a tendency to confuse things. We'd think that it's just like Havona and just like paradise, and it's not, right?
No,
Because paradise
yeah.
and Havona do not have thought adjusters.
No, I always took those words of Jesus to mean that inner voice within us.
Yes, that voice
It's
within.
it's that
that's what it
voice
is.
that speaks, that comforts us, that guides us
Yeah.
if we
And
listen.
we got to remember that the paradise citizens and Havona citizens are already created perfect by the Trinity. So they don't need the thought adjuster,
No.
right? At all. So, okay. Well, I didn't get very far to this tonight, did I? Let's see here. You want to try to do one more paragraph before we quit?
Sure.
It's 56, 556. All right. Now I lost my place here. Hang on.
3235, I think.
3-5, I think.
Okay.
There we go. Let's do one more. Who's up to read? I think Letch is.
Yes.
Which one?
On the
32.
headquarters of the local universe. 3-5.
Okay.
Letch.
Okay. On the headquarters of a local universe, there reside all those creator and creative personalities who represents self-contained authority and administrative autonomy, except the personal presence of the Universal Father. In the local universe, there are to be found something of everyone and someone of almost every class of intelligent beings existing in the central universe, except the Universal Father. Although the Universal Father is not personally present in a local universe, he is personally represented by its creator Son, sometimes vicegerent of God, and subsequently supreme and sovereign ruler in his own right.
So the creator son takes the place of God the Father, doesn't he? He's the Son of God, right? So he takes the place of God the Father. And God's personal presence is with us, with the Son of God, because he creates everything we know of. And in essence, he is our God of the local universe. And he's the vicegerent or representation of God the Father to us, and the ruler in his own right. All right. But it's interesting, they say at the beginning of this paragraph that there are other personalities who are administrators in all these universes who work without the personal presence of God the Father. They don't have adjusters. You follow me?
Yeah.
And that includes all of the Lenonondek, the Verondadek sons, the Melchizedeks, all the host of beings created by Michael or Jesus and the local universe mother spirit. These beings are not giving thought adjusters until they do what? Start the ascension plan. Okay.
Yeah, but
So
wait a
they're
minute.
not.
These people in Alondexes come to help us.
They come to help us out. That's right. But they're not given they're not given thought adjusters.
You would think they wouldn't need one to position they're at.
They're created by the creator son and the local universe mother spirit to be as perfect as they could create them. That's why Jesus said to Lucifer, what? You were created perfect in all your aspects and you held not to your original trust, right? So they have free will, so they can go against what they're supposed to do.
So then the Lenonondeks and the Melchizedeks are envious of us, for they would come down on high to restart the process to get a thought adjuster to ascend. Well,
Yeah.
son of a, we're something.
Isn't that special? Aren't we special? Right? God has a wonderful plan. If we just stick to it, we will make it, right? We will make it back to God. We really will. And the pity of life is this. There are so many people on this planet that doesn't realize their birthright, right? This is your birthright. And they muddle through life, never thinking about their future, never thinking about God, just saying, whatever happened will happen, you know, and whatever happened will happen. But you have to have faith. You know, that's the step. You have to have faith. And what a joy to have a relationship with God in this life, you know. It's the most special thing you can have. It's better than a wife. It's better than a husband. It's better than children. It's better than everything in your life, your relationship to God. All these things are wonderful, but they won't hold the candle to that relationship with God, right? It's the hard thing to do. All right, let's have a little prayer and we'll shut it off for tonight. Let me stop the share here and close it down here. Jane, would you like to close us for tonight? Unmute first. Got you again,
Okay.
Jane.
All right. So again, a prayer from the prayers Jesus gave us.
Okay.
Our perfect and righteous Heavenly Father, this day guide and direct our journey, sanctify our steps, and coordinate our thoughts. Ever lead us in the ways of eternal progress. Fill us with wisdom to the fullness of power and vitalize us with your infinite energy. Inspire us with the divine consciousness of the presence and guidance of the seraphic hosts. Guide us ever upward in the pathway of light. Justify us fully in the day of the great judgment. Make us like yourself in eternal glory and receive us in your endless service on high. We ask this through Jesus of Nazareth, Michael of Nebadon. Amen.
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 And thank you all at home that come to join us. Please come see us again. Let me stop the live
Thank you,
stream.
Roger.
You're welcome.